Hello, wonderful people and people interested in tarot. This is the Marseille Majors, probably a part one. I'm not sure how long this will be, but comparing some of the decks that I have quite a few Marseille decks, but I'm only going to look at a few because you can look at all of them and see the differences and see some crazy stuff. And I picked out some that really have differences that really showcase changes that could be significant, maybe, or just, artistic interpretation. So here we have the, this is just the professional edition of Marseille from, who's it from? Is it Lo Scarabeo? It's this huge box. It's an oversized deck. It's wonderfully done, and it is based on the Conver. So Conver, of course, is recognized as like the quintessential Marseille deck. And then we have the Poncet Tarot de Marseille, which was made for a documentary. That's he commented on one of my videos and said he made it for a documentary. So I thought that was an interesting deck. I'm not very sure of the sort of how it came to be, but it is lovely. Then I have the Camoin Jodorowsky Tarot de Marseille, and then I have two Flornoy decks. I have the small one, the Noblet, which I absolutely adore because it's just so quirky, and then the Dodal. Some people call it Dodali, but Dodal, and it is definitely a unique deck. And so these two are also quite significant and different in different ways. So we have the Fool, Le Faux, and Le Mat. So we have Le Faux, Le Mat. Here, I'm just going around. So here's the big one. The big one, this is the one I used the drawing from. I based the drawing on this one because it was nice and big, and then I made changes as needed to what I thought. So we have the bladder here. Notice they're all facing the same way. These two down here they lack the bells. There's a dropped bell here, but not here. Then we have that sort of cat, wolf, dog creature. No, I mean, here it's taking a bite. Here it's sort of pawing, again, pawing. Face is more dog-like here, not so much here. Very crazy here. I love it's going for the genitals. Here it looks like a cat. There's even like whiskers here almost, and there's missing a leg. Pulling there and pulling there. You can kind of see that it's a dog. They all share red boots. Only this one has a red staff. The others are blue. The headpiece is interesting because here's a bell here. Sort of looks like it could be a bell, but there's a medallion there. Bells here, bells here, bells around the belt. A walking staff here. This one has a face on it. For this to be a very sort of quirky deck, very sort of primitive, there's a face on the staff, which is interesting. Let's see. What else? Okay, so we got the hand, two hands, sort of right over top of each other. There. Upward looking face. Upward. Mostly the eyes are looking upward. The cap is a little different on each one, but it almost reminds me of sort of like a hairstyle. Kind of strange. Kind of odd. So the next card is Le Batelier, really the first card. I'm going to go ahead and change them all. This one, of course, is, again, all over the place. I appreciate in the Poncet deck the delicate lines. Not so sharp, not so restored like this deck. It's very, almost like a recolored recreation. So here on these, there's a little, the flora looks almost the same. I always thought it was kind of interesting that this sort of lines up with the middle of the body, this sort of cactus-like, and here's one there, but it's missing that little one on the side. It's sort of like, it almost looks like a, to be honest, it looks like a vagina, and this can be interpreted as the table blocking the genitals, some sort of sexual blockage. And we have the rod here, 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 here. The hand is sort of holding it open. It's very across the board. Here, I don't know what's going on, but it's a little penis. Don't say that's not a penis, because that most certainly is a crude drawing of a penis. Even with the foreskin retracted or a circumcision scar, you cannot say that is not. We have an opening in the arm there. We have, of course, sort of motley colored clothing here, here, here. The wide brim hat, sort of almost as a infinity symbol, is pretty universal, as well as the three-legged table. Here we have a purse open, purse, purse, purse. It looks like a book here. It could be a purse there, sort of crude. We have knives, we have dice, and it's sort of, everybody has their own interpretation. It looks like cupcakes, a knife, two knives, some sort of swirly thing, two knives. It's all over the place. The face is looking consistently to the left and down. The eyelids, and I thought this was interesting, as I trace the pictures, the faces are, they kind of convey age. They usually have two heavy lidded, bottom lid, top lid, and then an eyebrow. And so you see that quite a bit. The wrinkles here, they're fat. This one looks like a hand reaching at the eyeball. But here's the typical swollen bottom bottom eyelid and top eyelid. Here we have holding sort of a, well, circle. This is something different. Where? Flattened. And you look here, this is something I discovered. There's sort of a round shape hidden in the color here, almost like a sleight of hand trick. So, and you know, the battleur, the juggler, the street performer can be the illusionist, as well as the gatekeeper, from the here and the there. There's also a little bell on one of the feet, not both, but just one here. So these three share that, which I thought was very interesting. Almost, it's like when you think of the Fool, you think of bells, and yet he has a bell on one of his shoes, and that little round thing. Or it could be there's something that he's going to do with his, you know, he makes a sound or something with his foot as he entertains the crowd. The hair is interesting. Sort of a, you can tell this is sort of a, I don't know, a male figure. And la papessa says la pense, la pense. Get these little cards, shuffling, stay. La papesse is pretty simple across the board, as far as changes and things that are going on. They all seem to have sort of this, if you look in the middle, sort of a cross with crosses on it, and we have the canopy behind, the veil behind there. We have here we only have a 2 crown. Here we have 3, 3, 3. And I did notice that the flower here is usually the one that's on the denier, the coins. The book is open. Here we got scribbly pages. It's open. Notice they're all facing the same way. We see one hand, no hand. Here we see little fingers, hand, 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 and hand. And looking off to the left-hand side. Here she has sort of a beauty mark. I don't know if that's an error, but there's a little dot there, which could be... She has sort of a larger nose. and she's sitting on a sort of some sort of, not a, almost like a edge of something, and then there's sort of a peaking here of a column there, and there. Column is peeking out. So nothing crazy different. The Empress. Imperatrice. She is looking off to the right. She is holding a the shield, with sort of the eagle on it. The eagle is facing all in the same direction. The hand here, there should be a hand sort of coddling it. It's sort of colored in wrong there. She has the scepter with the world and the cross on it. Here she's looking straight at you instead of the others. There's sort of almost like angel wings behind her in the throne. She is wearing blue with a red sort of tunic with green highlights. And we have a bit of a column behind her here hidden. There, 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 and there. A little piece of a plant there, there, and there. The hair is long and flowing. Here it's very long. Here she has fair eyes, and the crown is pretty much the same in each one. It's sort of almost like a jaggedy electric type clown. Her belly looks a bit swollen here, sort of there, wide hips almost there, and here you can see it in the Noblet. There's also the little triangle in the middle of the chest here, here, and here, and here. So the triangle, there should be some significance there, I think. But and then there's sort of a snaky figure of the hem of the dress. Here it's sort of in the word, which I thought was kind of strange. And then we have her consort, the emperor. And this is where things start to get kind of a little different. In the Dodali, or the Dodal, there's a 4 there, which we see sometimes. We see the same type of shield with the face of the eagle going the other way, except for this one, right here. It's interesting that these two emperors have these little sort of almost like a chevron tree form there. The others do not. His tunic is sort of blue, red, and green, which is across the board. He has a rope type, like a torque necklace. Here there's a cross on that one. Here it says just a circle. Here there's nothing and nothing. Here and here we have a cross with the little nubs on it. And here we have a traditional sort of a iron cross look where they kind of go in a little bit, but the globe has the little piece on it. This one is facing that way, which could always be, whenever you see it flipped, it's usually a printing issue. They decided to flip it for some reason. Usually it's a mistake. So you can't read too much into things being flipped. His head thing has this sort of curl, which reminds me of almost like a helmet instead of a crown. And we have the triangles here, 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 little triangles there, a lot of triangles. And this one is all of a mismatch of whatever, all over the place. He's grabbing his belt and all those. He has a multicolored sort of skirt on. He's wearing shoes, except for here. His legs are crossed in like almost a 4, because it's the 4th card. And he's looking off to the left, except for the Noblet, he's looking to the right. Le Pape. Papa, or the Pope. What you typically always see is the cross on the glove. So here, here, here. There. This one's interesting because it looks like he took his glove off here, but it's there. There's also, in this one, there's like a ball almost there. One of them and all of them has the hat off on the bald heads. There, the yellow hat. There, it's red. Here we have the arms going up and down, and there, up and up, up and up, up and down, up. There's one there, up, praying, and then this one, it's very difficult to tell what they're doing. We got the two pillars in the back, which is across the board, except in these two, it becomes a sort of a throne. In these two, we have a crook. I don't know what the heck that's going on there. But here we have the triple cross, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, as well as the crown with the triangles at the very top. Here we have triangles all over it and all over it there. Sign of what, a benediction there, all carried out. He is in robes. He's looking off to the right. He looks like a wise man. The ones kneeling before him. Here we can actually see a face, which is really interesting. The little face peeking around, which to me, there are some decks that have a third one looking right at you, like, sort of like, and that's what that kind of reminds me of, but I'm not sure. There's some sort of fleshy leg peeking out, or just the color there. It's kind of odd. And you can see the remnants of that little ball there. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. Again, it keeps getting a little more interesting. And with me tracing this one, it made me realize, and it seems to be very evident when you look at it, that the woman with on the left-hand side is a lot older than the one on the Virgin, supposedly on the right. So here we have the cherub, like Cupid coming in from the left to the right, except here it's right to the left, blindfolded looking down, whereas these two are more cherub-like. We have the jagged, almost like in the sun. We have the wings. These are very similar. These are similar in themselves. We have the man who's looking at the older woman. She has her hand on his shoulder, and she also looks like her hand is going down, like almost crotch level, like she's about to grab his little bits. We have the flowers in the hair. Typically the maiden, the virgin, she has leaves. So to me, it means that, once a tree something flowers, what's left are leaves. So we have the older woman who has been married, deflowered. She has no flowers. Whereas the maiden, she's kind of looking very innocent, especially here. I love this one. He's staring right at you. He's like, how did I get in this situation? She is touching his heart. So she has his heart, even though he's looking at the woman who is sort of officiating or marrying them. You see his feet here, not his feet here, and you see him without shoes here. But this is a rather crude deck, but he's wearing sort of the tunic. She's wearing multicolored robes. I think that's about it, but you can tell her eyes look sleepy, hers are more alert. And she has that nose sort of is longer. And then we have the Chariot, which is one of the most interesting cards sometimes. Usually the engraver's initials are on the little shield, or there's a, so here we have AM, some in the rider weight, there's that sort of spinning top, VT, IN, and nothing there. So here we have the crazy horse looking this way, looking normal horse, crazy horse, normal horse, crazy horse. This one, the eye's gone, crazy horse. This one is the crazy horse over here. This one's giving this one the evil eye. One of the interesting things is the wheels. So we see more studded carriage wheel over here, not so much there. And there's a little round piece there. This one, the wheels are two different colors. And the horses have sort of a bridle on with the symbol of the sun there and there. Bridles, and the bit is in, and they have, some of them have a little thing on their forehead there and there. So you can see a little thing. The shield is sort of there as a mark, and we have we have a typical crown on each one. He is looking to the left here, not here. He's kind of looking at you here, but looking to the left in the Noblet. And he has the faces on his shoulders. To me, this one looks more feminine than that one. I think one is supposed to be male and female, but they also resemble sort of a moon. But if you look here in the Poncet, you see this one has a beard, so almost a masculine, feminine on the shoulders. Those are identical, those you can't tell. He has a sort of a scepter, which is continued throughout. The star banner here, there. The other ones, it's not so much, it's just sort of drapery. And the four pillars holding it up are different colors, two of one and two of the other. It reminds me of the Jewish tent where you get married under. And then we have the sort of armor on the chest there with the circles, the chevron, the face, the hair flowing, and then all of them share the sort of up, one hoof is up, one hoof is down. So we have them looking that way, the horse is looking that way, that way, that way. This one, they're kind of looking, this is the wonky-eyed one. Remember, you're in control of the chariot, so you have a normal horse, you have another horse that wants to go the other way, so you have to rein it in, which is how it should look. Let's look at justice. La justice. If you notice, we have a crown with sort of the circle and circle here, 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 but not there. But we do have sort of a puffed up thing on top of the head, a sort of a background with sort of a almost a throne. We have the sword held in the right hand and the scales in the left. Looking right at you, should be fairly symmetrical. Here we have that rope chain, there, there, there. Here it goes all the way up. I think that's definitely a miscoloring. She has a necklace there. Scales are equal, flowing robes, hiding things. There's that sort of tree design again in that corner. And we have 1, 2, 3 little pieces of plants there. So you can see the thumb there has been colored red. Here it's not. It's where it's mainly been cleaned up. Here we have Justice with 4 dots and a 1 there, like a dot there. But these wings here, look like they eventually became those. And here, if you look, only one of those has a circle on it, almost like the magician's shoes only has one, like the little bell. So I'm not sure if it's related to that. It could be, it might be, might not be. Also, it's missing one there, which could be a miscoloring. The little pommel piece. And we'll do the hermit. And that's when I'll stop. Hermit. They are all facing the left-hand side. He's an older man, thinning hair, a beard. The staff is in his left hand, the lantern in his right. He's covering it almost like it's windy, like he's protecting the flame. He has sort of a hood that's been pulled down. Here, there's tassels on those 4. They share the red, the blue, and the green. I see blue there, I see some green. The staff seems to be mainly red. And there's sort of some barren landscape there. And I did notice here it's sort of the lines going that way, but here they kind of part. Here, here, and here, going in different directions. And this looks like some hidden undercoat, this little piece here. And you can see it here. Here it's red, but it's yellow in all those, which I thought was interesting that it's like that. I think that was, oh, there's a little sort of something there by the hair. I don't know what that is, but it does sort of continue. The lantern itself is fairly simple, and he is looking off to the left-hand side. And that's the end of the first part. So we'll end with 9, and then we'll pick up with the other ones.